A cavallo donato non si guarda in bocca. To you, that may not mean much. Mostly because it doesn't make a lot of sense if you translate it directly into English. A cavallo donato non si guarda in bocca. It's an old Italian proverb. It's one of my favorites. Italian's a great language, you see, because it's very dramatic. It's very melodramatic. It's very over the top. And like a lot of proverbs in a lot of languages, they are hard to translate because if you do so word for word, they come across as being odd, not making sense. But you could try to convey the meaning, I guess, of a proverb, and I'll try to do that for you here. What it means basically is, well, what it means verbatim is, don't look a gifted horse in the mouth. Now, you understand why it's a little strange when I word it that way? Let me break it down. A gifted horse. If someone gifts you a horse, don't inspect its teeth. Don't inspect whether it has good or bad teeth. Just say, hey, this is a free fucking horse. Thank you. That's it. This is a gift. This is a gift from God. I had no horse. Someone gifted it to me. Okay? Basically, be thankful for what you got. Don't get too greedy. You know what I'm saying? A cavallo donato non si guarda in bocca. Giampiero Gasperini is the coach of Atalanta, a team which when he took over years ago, they were fighting to stay in Serie A. Okay? It's crazy how you succeed at something for a couple years and you want more. You want for more. You win a title. You win a European title. You win your first trophy ever as a manager a week ago. And you think, hey, how can we do more? Let's get greedy. Let's get picky. We won a title. Season's done. We were in the Champions League next year. We're locked in. Nothing we could do will fuck this up. We're locked in. No matter what happens. We have one game left to play. Let's try to go for third place. Fuck Juventus. Fuck them. I used to coach there as a young man in the youth sector and they never gave me a chance. Let's stick it up their ass just for fun. Juve's still going to be in the Champions League whether we finish above or below them, but let's give it a go. Let's start the big boys. Let's start a great team here so that we could try to beat them. In so doing, Giampiero Gasperini became a traitor to the Italian Republic this week. We're about to enter a war for Italians across the globe. I mean, every country of the Euro is going to be doing this for their people, their diaspora, but, we're speaking, we're among friends here. We're among WOPs. It's a big deal for us, and it's a big deal for everyone. It's a big deal for everyone that's in the tournament, but from our perspective, speaking as an Italian, proud Italian citizen, kid with Italian lineage, I like the Euro because it gives me a chance to, just lean into it a little bit more where I don't feel like I'm being as annoying. And I'm sure I am to other people, but that's fine. That's fine. But I feel like I have carte blanche to do so. That's all. Generally, I kind of, I think, hey, cool it with the WAP stuff, cool it with the leaning into the Italian shit. There's something about every couple of years you let out the tribalism, it's good. So we're going to war in a week here. We need everyone to buy into the program. We cannot have people undermining the movement. We cannot have people undermining the campaign. And Giampiero Gasperini did exactly that this week when he started Giorgio Scalvini in a meaningless game. Giorgio Scalvini, a player who we realistically could not afford to lose. We have a lot to get to on the pod this week. We're going to get into the Giampiero Gasperini decision to start starters in a meaningless game, including Giorgio Scalvini, who now has a ruptured ACL and whose career is on ice now currently. I mean, people recover from ACL tears, but they're still bad. Make no mistake. His coach has robbed him of an opportunity to fulfill a lifelong dream, and he has robbed you of a chance to see the best team available go to war for you this summer. A cavallo donato non si guarda mai in bocca. I'm Sam Adamo, and this is the Bordello. Folks, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in to another special broadcast of the Bordello. It's a special broadcast because it is wartime. We are approaching Euro 2024. We are a week removed from the start of the tournament. And we are already entering crisis mode. I'm solo this week. This is a very important, cathartic episode, I think, for many Italian football fans who are a little bit scared about the tournament to come. Last week, I think we were all feeling confident about our chances. Things are looking a little bit challenging now. It is wartime. This is a wartime communique, okay? This is wartime correspondence right now, okay? Imagine me being on the ground right now at Coverciano relaying the news of what's going on. That's kind of the energy that we're bringing you this week to start off the pod, okay? And I know we're starting off on a more serious tone here, but I'm actually really pissed off about some stuff that's been going on in the past little while. And Dilo's not with us this week, and we in the spirit of, we channeled kind of as a nod of approval to Nicolò Fagioli and his lifestyle. We went to the casino the other day. It was kind of meant to be a little team bonding experience before the Euro. I told him, I need you to be sharp. I need you on one this month. And he's golfing today, actually. So that's how he's that's how he's repaying me after my wartime speech in the parking lot 5 levels below the casino of Montreal. I was telling him, buddy, I need you on one, all right? Starting next week, we're rolling. And he's golfing today. So he had better enjoy himself because as of next week, it's business. It's big business time. It's crunch time for this pod. And he's missing a big one this week. We have a lot of very important news to get to. I mean, and we had a small window this week to get this out, and I didn't want to wait for him. We got to rip this solo. The solo pods are a different energy, but it's very important that we get this out ASAP, yesterday. And at the time that I'm recording this, we will have not played the friendly against Turkey, which we're playing this week. By the time this episode is out, that game will probably have already taken place. I know it's uncharacteristic to kind of ignore games. We will not be in a position to put one out post-game this week. We will loop back in a week's time and look back on the results in the friendlies and look at how the players did and so on. That's actually not really that important right now. The reason we had to get this out now and why we had to get this recorded immediately is because we're in a fucking crisis right now, okay? Our defensive line is in shambles at the moment. It is a fucking crisis. And I'm going to try to keep it dialed in here. I think I've dropped like 3 F-bombs already, and I don't know. If you're listening to this on YouTube, we might actually bleep this out. I don't know. I mean, if you're listening to this in the car, old school, on the pod platforms, thank you. Share it with your friends. Do all that shit. Add it to your library. If you're just discovering the pod. But yeah, look, we might have to try to censor this the first couple minutes here on YouTube because they say that if we wanted to get like push and stuff, you're not supposed to swear. I'm going to have a hard time not doing that these next couple of minutes because I am fucking pissed off, okay? I am really pissed off about what's been going on here. I'm fed up of people giving Giampiero Gasperini the old rusty trombone. Okay? It's enough. In the last week, everyone's been glazing this guy because he won a Europa League. Okay? The guy's done very little with his career until the last couple of years. He's 70 years old. He wins a fucking tournament. And because of his ego, in a meaningless game yesterday, at the time of recording, meaningless game, last Serie A game of the season, The last weekend of Serie A was a week ago, but the last Serie A game of the season was technically yesterday because Atalanta played Fiorentina in a makeup game, which was postponed on the calendar, I guess because of European obligations that both sides had. And so, meaningless game. Atalanta have qualified for the Champions League. A win, a loss, a draw does nothing for them. Same result for them next year. Fiorentina likewise, a win, a draw, a loss doesn't grant them any more preferential or less preferential European spot next season. Meaningless game. You should start like youth team players. Gianpiero Gasperini starts a bunch of his starters. Chief among them, Giorgio Scalvini, the 20-year-old center back. One of the best center backs that we currently have. One of the best center backs in all of Europe. One of the best young center backs in all of Europe, I will say. Had a great final in the Europa League final the other day. And looked poised. Everyone was excited for the fact that this guy had gotten called up for Italy. People were kind of unsure as to what was going to happen when the tournament came around and who was going to start in the defensive line, particularly given the fact that Spalletti has a penchant for going with 3 at the back. So 3 center backs would have been needed for that role. And I think Giorgio Scalvini impressed a lot of people in that final. It was the biggest test of his career, and he passed it with flying colors. And the other day, Francesco Acerbi had to pull out of the squad with, an injured groin, had to undergo surgery. How that happens, I don't know how you realize only now that you need surgery. I don't know what the prognosis is there and how long the timeline for a return is. I don't know why it couldn't have been done a month ago after Inter had won the Scudetto. I literally don't see what the point would have been for him to wait until now. Maybe it was nagging and it's only now, become clear that he needs an operation. It doesn't really matter. The point is, Acerbi steps out of the squad. Not great. He was the most experienced defender that we had in the team, but nevertheless, fine. One guy down, not the end of the world. Federico Gatti's on standby to maybe come in and, fill in as a center back replacement. But at this point in time, you're probably thinking the guys called up by Spalletti last week will be the guys going to the tournament. A couple of guys had to be cut from the preliminary squad anyway. Acerbi's out. Okay, no problem. By the way, a lot of people are saying that's a horrible thing. Would have liked to have had him in the team. A year ago, you, me, and everyone who knows about the Italian national team would have been happy to see him get run off a cliff, okay? A lot of you guys a few months ago were probably not that keen on having the guy play for Italy ever again. Then he played against Haaland in the Champions League final last year and held him to no goals, and all of a sudden he was in the good books again. And he was the oldest, de facto, most experienced center back that we had. Ergo, he, as is customary, when you are an old defender who plays for Italy, was getting the plaudits of all the Italians who follow soccer. And, in football media, all of a sudden he became indispensable. Even though, 3 years ago, he was a train wreck. Kind of. So Acerbi's out. And you're thinking, all right, this isn't the end of the world, whatever, we're down a guy. In a meaningless game yesterday, Gianpiero Gasperini starts, Giorgio Scalvini scores a goal in the game, by the way. Meaningless game. Meaningless. The prospect of playing any players that are going to play at a major tournament this summer in a meaningless game, in the last game of the season, when the players are all worn down anyway, when they've been drinking for the last week, probably partying after winning the Europa League, okay? 3rd game in 10 days. You would think that you just don't play the guys as the coach, right? You would think that as the manager, you don't play the guys who are going to be repping countries this summer, if you care about your players at all. Gianpiero Gasperini has always been a selfish man. He is a prick, and a lot of his former players do not like him. They say that he's an asshole. They say that he is not fun to be around. He's not a Mourinho. Mourinho can turn on players, and he can turn ugly, but for some reason, he generally, even though he's like actually had a reputation of bullying a handful of guys, generally the consensus is that they would all die for him. And I don't know if that's the case with Gasperini now. I do know that there are a bunch of players who've come out in the past and said that they've hated playing for him and that he's a horrible person. I know that he was a little cuck at Juve at the youth sector for like 10 years and wound up leaving the club because he was getting impatient and didn't like the fact that they weren't giving him opportunities. And he proceeded to have a mostly miserable career managing middling clubs in Italian football until he wound up having a few good squads in Bergamo with Atalanta, and he built a squad and got a little bit of trust and was able to put a good system together. Credit to him for that, if nothing else. Team was probably juicing. So they have probably been taking EPO for the past like 10 years. I don't know why, by the way, if you're juicing, you don't just, the first thing you do, if you're like at the forefront of doping in sport, I don't know why you don't inject illegal drugs into the ligaments of the young players, okay? So that they could just, as they're coming into their male bodies, as they're fully forming, they could have strong ACLs, MCLs, meniscus, all that shit that tears and ruins careers. You would think that if you're good at dope, you would do it correctly, but I guess not. So, because Gasperini, by the way, their season was over like when they won the Europa League. That's it. It should have been done there and then. Okay, the fact that in the last 2 games of the season, any starters were played is crazy. But because he has such an ego that he wanted to finish in 3rd place above Juventus, which they failed to do, not that it matters, but for the record, he was going for something, failed at the task, right? He wanted to beat Fiorentina. They lost the game. But he was trying to beat Fiorentina so that Atalanta could get into 3rd place for his own ego. Because he is a guy who had, until a week ago, never won anything. And 3rd place is a badge of honor for a loser like that, a career loser. Okay? That's who he is. He's a guy, Giampiero Gasperini is a cuck of a coach. Okay? You know why that is? Because his job is to take the young players in to his system, groom them, okay? Bring them up. Bring them to maturity, and then sell them off for the big boys, all right? That's what his job is. He's the fluffer. Giampiero Gasperini is a managerial fluffer. His job is to take young players, okay, who are yet to be developed, bring them to fruition, and send them off to the big guys with the big swinging dicks. That's his job. That's his role in Italian football. There's talk he's got to take over Chelsea now. He's not. They signed... Enzo Maresca, who was at Leicester, who who's probably going to have a better career in management because he's a better football brain. At a younger age, he's a better football brain. He's not managing fucking Serie A clubs, in his 40s. So, or youth teams, or whatever the fuck Gasperini did. And by the way, I have a right to poo-poo him this week, okay? He's had a good career as a coach. He's done more in his life than I have mine. But this week, I'm allowed to shit on him because he should not have been playing any players in that side that are going to play at a major tournament this summer. None, okay? If that's Ederson, the midfielder who's going to play for Brazil in the Copa America, I don't know if he's good enough to play for them. It doesn't really matter. It's not the point, but... it doesn't matter if it's Ederson playing in a South American tournament or fucking Hat de Boer playing for the Netherlands at the Euro, which he's not, but that's not the point. If he were playing for the Netherlands, then you don't play him. Automatically, if a guy is called up to a national team or has a prospect of playing for a national team this summer, okay, you don't play him in the last game of the season. You call up the youth players, you fucking donkey. But instead, he started players who were regular starters for his own ego, for his own fragile little stupid ego. And Giorgio Scalvini goes ahead and tears his ACL. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw the video of him getting like escorted off the field. It's like their trainer, whoever the hell is responsible for injecting them with EPO, okay? It looks exactly like Manuel Locatelli. It's creepy. It's almost like Manuel Locatelli's like running side missions to like thwart the Italian national team right now. I don't know what the hell's going on. I thought I was tripping looking at the fucking at the trainer running onto the field so that Scalvini could limp off with him. He looked exactly uncannily like Manuel Locatelli. Made no sense. Maybe we'll overlay the picture here. I'm actually looking at it now on my screen, and it's the same guy. It's Manuel Locatelli. Crazy. And that's him. That's him escorting Scalvini off the field. Scalvini has an injury scare in the game. He limps off. Immediately, everyone knows it's a ligament done. But, officially you got to wait for scans or whatever to make sure it's not, actually torn. If it's just a little sprain, maybe you could wait a couple weeks, walk it off type of thing. I don't know. That's the weird thing with ligament injuries. If it's torn, your year is done. But if it's not torn, then you can play the next week, apparently. It's crazy. So within hours, news drops, torn ACL, out for God knows how long, 20 years old. Horrible, by the way. Horrible that this happened at such a young age, while he's still coming into his body. He was linked to Manchester United this summer. That whole deal probably done now, if it was happening at all. United are linked to a lot of players at any given time. But, my God, like Gianpiero Gasperini, if nothing else, all right? Before all else, you do not betray your country, okay? I should be so lucky to die for Italy. Honestly, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do? Sometimes I kind of wish there was a war that Italy gets involved with so that I could just go fight for them and die for the country. And the only reason I wouldn't want to die for them is I have my Italian wife back home. I have the sweet loins of my Italian wife back home, who's the mother to our little Italian children. And I get that it's fun to, date the rainbow and travel to different countries and meet women sometimes and have cross-cultural marriages and have babies that speak 2 or 3 languages. I get that that's fun, but there is a lot of value to having kids with people from your own ethnicity just because it's cool. Just because it's cool to have like something in common. At least, it gives the children some kind of semblance of identity. Every 2 years when there's international football on, they get to be tribal and call, neighboring European countries like Albania dogs. Yeah, I should be so lucky to die for Italy. I should be so fucking lucky. Gianpiero Gasperini doesn't give a shit about the Republic. Gianpiero Gasperini is a traitor to the Republic, and I want him tried before a jury of his peers immediately. Okay? He is a fucking traitor to the Republic. Starting Giorgio Scalvini in a nothing game in the last match of the season for his own ego so that he could make 3rd place when he's already made the Champions League is crazy. That is slanderous behavior. If you don't care about your players, just say so now. Okay? Don't start guys that are going to play in a major tournament. If you care about anything, if nothing else, put your country first and play Jim Citi, the Swiss guy who's Albanian, because half of Albania isn't in Albania, by the way. That's a sign of a great country, by the way. When there's 5 million people in Albania and it's speculated that there are 5 million Albanians elsewhere in the world. That's a great country, by the way. Albanians, we're the best. Sure. I saw a poll, my friend was showing me a poll of European countries, asked whether they thought their culture was the best the other day. And in like the Northern European countries, they're much more humble and realistic. Like in Estonia, Latvia, whatever, the Netherlands, much more conservative. Around 20-30% say yes. Okay. By the way, crazy that even like 20% of people in Estonia think that they are the best culture on earth. Then name one culture that you're better than. Estonia, Moldova. Even Moldova is better than you. They have vampires and lore. I don't know. But then, like, at the top of the list is always, like, these shit countries. Like, the further east you go, like Georgia, Armenia, like, the further east you go, the higher the number of people that say that their culture is the best is. It's crazy. Because these people have never seen the rest of the world. Like, in France, the number was much more humble, right? Also, largely because half of France is African. So, they probably hate French society because for some reason now there's this weird thing now where when you immigrate somewhere, because you accept that it's a pretty goddamn good culture, you have to say, oh, well, it's horrible. It's horrible for me. It's a racist place. I'm sure maybe a lot of migrants do have a hard time, but in any event, whoever was polled in France, migrants or not, they're saying at a much lower rate, we're the best on earth. It's maybe like 25% of the French population, according to this, or 35%. It's a very low number because people in France have seen the world. France is a country that's part of the Western world. But then when you go further east, right, these people have no concept of the rest of the world. So you poll Greece, right? And it's 90% of people in Greece who are like, the Greek culture is the best culture. Because in their minds, they're like, no, we're Greek. We're better than Turkey. Turkey, yeah. However the fucking dictator in Turkey wants me to call this country. I'm still calling you Turkey, motherfucker. Turkey, like fucking Thanksgiving turkey. Turkey with the fucking two dots on the arm. Bro, I'm on a fucking... This is like the most racist I felt in a long time. It's not even racist. I'm just telling other cultures to go fuck themselves. That's what the Euro does to you. It's healthy once every 2 years to let this out. You know? So... Excuse me. That's the burp of a virile Southern European man right there. Brother. Albania, by the way, wasn't even polled on this list. Thank God. Because it would have broken the pollers. Like, just spiritually. It would have broken them to hear Albanian guys go, Albania, number one. All the time. Whatever an Albanian accent is. What even is an Albanian guy? Albanians are just Southern European Greeks and Balkans who just sucked at defending themselves, who got invaded constantly, who got invaded by Turks and got duped into converting to Islam. And now it's a godless place where they drink and they don't even care about Islam. That's who they are. I'm on one, dude. I had a lot of Albanians on TikTok this week talking about how they're the best. You know, the plan is working. We will be dropping more rage bait for the Albanians in the next week. We have some things planned, which will be fun to clip. But there was one guy on TikTok who was Albanian was boasting about the fact that apparently Albania is higher on the average penis list than that trumped up list, which had Italy sitting 112th. Which I still refuse to believe that list. I still refuse to believe the validity of that list. I don't know how. I don't know why. I still refuse to believe the validity of that list. I've seen Italy before, higher up on the list. I played soccer with a lot of Italian dudes. I'm not seeing a lot of small peckers. I'm seeing a lot of just peckers I'm not seeing a lot of massive ones either, but I'm seeing a lot of just regular ones that kind of look like the ones that I've seen before. Is it gay that I pay attention? I don't know. It's not gay. I'm Italian. Hey, how you doing? Fuck. Like, the fucking retards who are commenting on me on my posts, on TikTok. On my posts on TikTok about, like, how Albania's great. These guys that have Albanian flags are saying shit like, first of all, they're saying shit like, there are people that are commenting saying, and this is just funny, by the way. I get that it's kind of gay to talk about, like, it's kind of lame to talk about, like, people that are commenting on your post, but it is funny because it does, like, pull a layer back about, like, the mental illness of some of these people. So guys are saying, bro, Albanians run Philadelphia and Detroit and Jersey and all these places. But when you say that, okay, you're just telling me you're so far removed from the Albanians in Albania. The Albanians in Albania are basically gay. Okay, they're Europeans and they have ear piercings and they wax their legs. Many of them, some of them, I don't know. But I do that also, but that's because I'm European. Anyway, it's not really the point. The point is, anyone that says Albania's the best, bro, that's like American Albanian, they're the worst kind of Albanian right off the bat. I think we could agree on that. They're annoying everywhere, like even the ones in Germany that are rapping with the flag and everything. It's a little annoying, but at least they're kind of in Europe and they feel, I don't know, it just feels like they speak more of the language. I feel like the ones in New York, like, what's his name? Like Action Bronson, Action Bronson types that just claim Queens before they claim Albania. I feel like, I'm not really going to take you seriously when you're repping the Albanian brand. You're not good for the brand. Talking about, like, we run Detroit, we run Philly, we run Jersey, bro. At that point, you're kind of on the same level as, like, the Italian guy in the Bronx from that deli, GNR Deli, who gets on social media and goes, "Time to make a sandwich." Like, that's he to Italians is what you are to Albanians at that point. But other people are commenting shit, which is fucking killing me, dude. There's one guy who said, damn, dude, I never knew I was packing compared to pizza merchants, referring to the fact that I suppose on average, the Albanian guys have just an average penis, where apparently, according to this list, Italians have under average penises. Again, I'm still contesting that. I'm still calling a flag on that play, okay? Dude, we'll live measure penises on this pod if we have to. I don't care. Anyway, not really the point. But there was... I did like how last week on the pod I said that a lot of the retards that listen to this show are like super like super like gung ho, like Italian pride, much like these Albanian idiots that are commenting on my on my videos lately the last week. There are a lot of Italians that listen to my shit that are kind of like gung ho retarded Italian that are like, no bro, Italian dicks are big, bro, trust me. There was one guy who commented last week and said, Italian women have big asses and tits. How would we penetrate them if we didn't have... So I'm doing like a Greek accent, but I don't even know what accent I'm doing. But he's like, how could we penetrate the big asses, the big hips if we had small dicks? It's like they're invoking science and biology. It's crazy. So, but it's not really the point. So, yeah, there's one guy who called us pizza merchants. Like, that's a bad thing. It's crazy. I don't know how you could be so confident as an Albanian person ever. If I were Albanian, I would just shut up constantly because I'm Albanian. And that's like the least impressive country in Europe, probably. Right? What are Albanians going to say if I post this? Come to Albania, we'll fuck you up? No. How about no? I'll pass. I don't want to go to Albania. How about that? How about that, huh? How do you say I love you in Albanian? Like it's a horrible language. It's Turkish. I think it's, how do they say? I think Albania in Albanian is like skrikibski or something. It doesn't even make sense. So it's an odd language. It's Turkic language. They just got dominated by the Ottomans, and they never, their culture is just one of like being like a Mediterranean Balkan country with Islamic influence. They just became Turkey's little daddy, I guess. I don't really. No one really knows. Does anyone even know what an Albanian is? Just aesthetically. Anyway, I'm all over the map here. It's like yeah, pizza merchants. Like it's better than being a fucking trafficking merchant, Like I don't know. I literally don't know where the pride comes from. It's actually peculiar. And we'll shift over to Spain and make fun of Croatians in a couple weeks too coming up. Maybe we'll try to rage bait them. But I do think it's less fun to rage bait them than it is to rage bait Albanians, because rage baiting Albanians is next level. They're the people that for some reason think they are the best, and I don't know why. They think they have a good reputation for some reason. Basically, right? So there was one dude who commented something on one of my videos. He said, "Ask about Albanians in Italy." As if like if I start asking about Albanians in Italy, people are gonna be like, oh, don't mess with them. We're impressed by them. As if the answer, if I were to ask around in Italy about Albanians, wouldn't be something along the lines of, "Oh, those fucking gypsies." like that isn't the answer you would get. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh yeah, the Albanians are great for the economy. They wait the tables, and they're essential for the businesses over here. They do all the grunt work. By the way, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it takes a lot of balls to do that. Just say we have balls, we work hard, and we're men, and just say we're men. We're Albanian and we're men, and we have traditional values. Say go that angle. Don't go, "I'm Albanian, bro," because then you lose people. People don't know what that means. "I'm Albanian, bro." Oh, all right. We can't pick you guys out of a police line. Just say we're Albanians, and what that means is, we're into this, we're into that. Not we're the best because we're Albanian. No. You're fleeing Albania for economic opportunity to the better countries. I think there's enough rage bait there for some clips if I so choose. I can slug in this microplastic laden soda stream here, bro. I mean, look. Gasperini's he's public enemy number one right now. He's public enemy number one. The fact that Giorgio Scalvini tore his ACL the day before having to rejoin the Italy team is crazy. The fact he wasn't granted leave from Atalanta is crazy. Okay, if nothing else, you put Jimshiti into the starting 11 because he's Albanian and Italy's playing Albania. If anyone's going to tear his ACL, it should be him. You put him in the line of fire, all right? You send him to the glue factory first. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. You got to be loyal to your country first. And if you're not going to do that, at least be loyal to your fucking players, you coward, Play 19-year-olds. No one gives a fuck about how the season ends when the season is already wrapped. And you're locked in. You're locked in for next year, no matter the result of the game. It's crazy. It's one of the most insane, infuriating things that's happened in the last couple of years. Honest to God, in Italian football, one of the most infuriating things that's happened in the past couple of years. Because I had this thought. I actually had this game on my calendar and said, someone's going to get hurt in that one. God help us. God help Gianpiero Gasperini if it's Gianluca Scamacca. Okay? Giorgio Scalvini being out is already a problem. Our defensive line is in fucking shambles right now. So Federico Gatti got called up. He's an okay player. He's not as good as Scalvini. He's not as good on the ball. He's not as calm. He's not as good of a decision maker. He's got better brute force. The back line now lacks a ton of finesse. And it puts a lot of pressure on Riccardo Calafiori to step up as a center back. Now look, I'm seeing reports here that apparently in training the other day, Spalletti was running two formations. He was running a 4-2-3-1 against a 3-4-3, basically. Kind of. Or 3-4-2-1 is what is being reported here by, I don't know, Football Italia. But Football Italia are, I mean, they are some of the most burnt writers. It's like two beat writers that write for Football Italia that just kind of loosely translate whatever Gazzetta says. So, for all intents and purposes, 3-4-3. Is everyone confident in like a trident of Darmian, Buongiorno, and like Bastoni? Is everyone confident in Alessandro Buongiorno? I think he deserves to be in the team. I'd rather he not have to start every game. It just feels like the center backs we have currently kind of are lacking a little bit of something. I don't know what that something is. It's maybe the fact that like they don't have, I guess, the seal of approval of everyone, kind of. You know, because like Scalvini and Acerbi, I think were universally accepted as being guys who could start with Bastoni. Bastoni's going to start every game, no problem. He's not coming off the field now. That's fine, but you would have liked a guy with a little bit of finesse like Scalvini and a guy with a little bit of experience like Acerbi. And if Scalvini wouldn't have gone on, then you wouldn't have hated the Inter, trident of Darmian, Scalvini, and Acerbi. Sorry, Darmian, Bastoni, and Acerbi. But I don't know. Without Acerbi now, it feels a little bit weird to put, I don't know, just Buongiorno in that trident with like Darmian and Bastoni. It feels like it can get badly exposed. It feels like it lacks a lot of experience. Giorgio Scalvini, man, feels like he could be a generational defender as well. Like the fact that I cannot overstate how horrible it is that he's out currently. So we're down. Two guys are getting cut now. I mean, three, but one's a goalkeeper, so we don't give a shit about that. Two guys are getting cut from this team now. I think the defenders are going to stay exactly as they are. It's probably going to be one midfielder and maybe one forward who get cut at this point now. And like Foloruncio in this experimental 3-4-3 that Spalletti ran apparently was a winger. He was playing as a right winger, which is or as a left winger, excuse me, which is fun. He can play in a more attacking role. He's more of a ball winner than anything. I'm realizing that Foloruncio is probably going to wind up getting kept because he's the only guy that wins the ball as well as he does. I think he's the best ball winner in Serie A, and he happens to be Italian, so it's perfect, Feels like a sensible move. He's not to be clear, he's not the best ball-winning Italian in Serie A. He's the best ball winner in Serie A, I think, period, statistically. And he happens to be Italian. So I think he probably gets in, and I don't know, do we need El Shaarawy at that point? I think El Shaarawy's toast. I think he's probably gone, and then, it's maybe just one midfielder. But, fuck, man, I don't love it. I don't love the fact that, we're being forced to kind of make changes on the fly because of injuries. Feels a little concerning. I don't know. Dude, I don't know, bro. Venezia Calcio are back in Serie A. My old friends. We're going to give Venezia a chance. We're going to give Venezia a chance to kiss the ring. We're going to see how they act. Okay? Because the guy who was a problem at Venezia a couple of years ago was this Greek guy who ran the whole pretentious marketing campaign. And he's no longer there. He left. He bailed on them when he thought they were going down to Serie A. He abandoned ship like a coward, like the Costa Concordia captain. I said that weird. Capitan. Like the captain of the Costa Concordia, the guy who jumped off on our lifeboat a few years ago, and and the Italian Coast Guard was trying to call into him from Genova, like saying, Capitano, ma lei deve tornare sulla nave proprio And the guy was... the captain was like just pretending that there was like an issue with the correspondence or there was an issue with the connection. He was saying, no, I don't know. He was saying, I just went off on a lifeboat to smoke or something. He was like just being vague, and it was obvious what was going on there. He was just being a sleazebag, and the Coast Guard was saying, no, you go back there and you die with dignity. To be fair, at least the guy's still alive, right? Like, yeah, he might have killed some people with his nefarious behavior and his malpractice, but like, what? Your options: you go back and you just die, or you just live, but you have to go to jail, but you get to at least live. You free room and board, and at that point, if you get off the boat, all right, I guess you kind of you seal your fate and you decide what kind of person you are, but you got to almost appreciate the honesty of being like, yeah, all right, this is who I am. I don't want to die. See ya. I'm out. But no, like, I'm sorry. I'm not done with this fucking Gasperini thing. I just want to say this about Gasperini, by the way. This is why we got to bring corruption back in Serie A. Okay? When we had full-level, unhinged corruption, you would have had higher-ups at the FIGC send in the goons and tell Gasperini, hey, asshole, we will frame you. We'll start really drug testing your players. Hey, you want to keep your fucking one title, your one Europa League title? We'll call UEFA and we'll say, hey, Atalanta's worth looking into right now. All right? Don't ask how we know. We just know. We've run some tests. You might want to check them out. You might want to run some newer tests. We caught some of their trainers sneaking weird substances into the back of the training ground. You might want to go for them. You got to insinuate that you're going to ruin the guy. You tell him, don't start Scalvini. Don't start Scamacca. That's it. That's your mandate. Start Rafael Toloi. The old Italians who are no longer part of the fray, start them. Zappacosta, no problem. But the guys who we're depending on, no. How about that? You dismiss them. You send them away right now. They don't need to be with the team till the end of the fucking season. It's crazy. Call up kids. If there was like a Luciano Moggi type figure who was running the FIGC, that shit probably would have happened. I legitimately think there's a chance that this injury wouldn't have happened in that game if the FIGC had any balls and would have, stepped in and said, hey guys, this is a nothing game. We got a couple studs here who we need, I don't know, we're about to send them to war, on behalf of the country. Hey, how about we just give them a rest? Don't play them. If they're going to tear their ACL, let it be at Coverciano. Let it feel like it was inevitable. Because when you play them in a meaningless game, it feels like it was avoidable. So, no, we need corruption back, man. The league is falling apart. It's not good. We got to start cracking the whip a little bit, man. I'm telling you. It's crazy. It is nuts. It is nuts that nobody stepped in and told Gasperini, you had better not start them. I don't care about your goals. I don't care about your ambitions. Do not start them. If you do, it will be the end of you. That's it. I don't know. So Venezia's back up in Serie A. Listen, we're going to give their admin a chance to kiss the ring. We're going to give them a chance to not do what the last admin did and cower away, all right? And hopefully they do. Hopefully they behave themselves, and if they do, then I will sing their praises, okay? I'm an easy man to buy off. If you stroke my ego, I will speak kindly about you, and I'm a very powerful enemy to have. You do not want to have me as a public enemy. It will not be good. The slate is clean for now. If I get into it with their admin, it's over. I might have to test the new admin. I might have to send some stuff off. First of all, if he's replying to me, that's a problem right there. Last admin replying, that was crazy. You don't reply to civilians, ever. You just don't do that. Like, unless you're funny. Unless you're like Leverkusen. You know what I'm saying? A few years ago, I think Leverkusen, before they were a good football club, like the only thing they had going for them was like they were just funny on Twitter. So I don't know, man. Like, just I'm so goddamn upset about this fucking Scalvini thing, man. In other news, I guess Antonio Conte's taking over Napoli. It'll probably be announced by the time this pod comes out. I get that, by the way, it's a little weird that we're not breaking down the Turkey game. I know that we're playing Turkey. But again, this pod is going to be coming out after that game probably, but it's going to be, it is being currently recorded before that game takes place. So we'll review it next week. But so yeah, in other news, so Antonio Conte's taking over at Napoli. Napoli fans are very happy, and they can be. They're weird. They're a weird fan base. I think they're happy that like this former Juve stud is coming to them now. He was a dog when he was coaching Juve, but now he's their guy. They're all in with him. All right, fine. I do think that no one else would have touched him. I think no one else wanted to hire him. It's a little bit odd. I don't know if Milan maybe, since they're getting rid of Pioli for some reason, I believe. That would have been a big club for him to go to, I guess. Might have made logical sense. I don't know if they were interested. He's been out of work for like a year now. He has a lot of demands. I don't know how it'll work with fucking De Laurentiis. I really do not know if he'll heed to his demands. As of right now, Napoli's losing players. Their captain, Giovanni Di Lorenzo, wants to go to Juventus. It's basically almost a done deal, apparently, according to reports. And that's a good deal for Juve. That's a good deal because he's got another couple years in him, man. Like, just as a defender in Serie A, who's been in the league for a while, who knows the league, you can make it work if you're not, like a modern full-on attacking fullback, which is not what he is. He's a more conservative one. That's a great signing for Juve. It's a massive loss for Napoli. It's a big L for them, too. It's a big L for the city. And it's I was saying this on like Turin Giants the other day. It's a job, like playing football's a job. I get that he's the captain, but like Napoli have this rule. Napoli fans have this rule that if you play for their club, you gotta go through some like mafia, like you almost have to go through some mafia like ceremony where you like burn a saint card and prick your skin, okay, till you bleed, and then you need to like seal your blood with the blood of like a Neapolitan person, and maybe I feel like there might be sex involved somehow. I feel like the Neapolitan way, if you're like a fan of Napoli, is we gotta like I'm gonna cut my wrist and I'm gonna hold it up and I'm gonna smear my blood across your face and offer you my daughter. You're one of us now, E mo tu sei napoletano, tu. Like you're one of us. But if you leave, it's over. God forbid you leave to another club. God forbid you leave to Juventus. God forbid you leave to a bigger club, bigger contract. You're not allowed. You gotta stay in Naples forever. The guy already won the Scudetto with Napoli as a captain. He's not gonna win it again. Okay? He wants more money. He wants to play in the Champions League consistently. Good for him. He's the maybe the starting right back of the Italian national team, depending on the formation they play, but it's not really the point. He's allowed to leave. But like Napoli's like one of the few clubs that just has no forgiveness for that shit. And it's weird. It's odd. It's peculiar. If you play for Napoli, you're not allowed to leave them. Like Higuain did so much for that team. Didn't want to leave. De Laurentiis sold him. Wanted to sell him. And now Higuain cannot walk in Naples. Even though he was like beloved there. He was capocannoniere for a long time. He almost won a title with them. He's this Argentinian guy who was scoring goals. Like that's the thing that they really enjoy. No. He's dead to them. Crazy. It's insane. He was transferred there. He didn't ask for a transfer to Juve. He was sold by his club. So what was Higuain supposed to do at that point in time when he sold to Juventus? Just turn cheek and say, fuck you up yours. I ain't signing the contract. Like that is nuts. Like if he just doesn't agree to terms with the team, he has to come back to Napoli and Napoli has to honor his contract. It's crazy. So, yeah, Napoli fans just want all of the players that have ever played for them to never leave for Juventus ever. And if they do, they feel like it's a grave betrayal because the way it has to work when you sign for Napoli and you win and you play for the team is they'll say, we'll give you everything. You'd better give us everything in return. It's almost a threat. It's crazy. They're like, hey, you got to adopt this city. You'll become a son of this city. But this city accepts everyone. So we'll accept you as one of our own. But you bet, non ci può tradire, cazzo. Like it's odd. It's mafia-esque. It's like they're always extorting you. Hey, you better love us. You better love us. It's kind of like Napolitan guys with their wives. It's like, I'll give you everything. I love you. You're my life. But, if if you one wrong move and it's over for you. Everything's very over the top, romantic, dramatic. It's a lot. And when your career's done, you're Napolitan now, so you can have a house here, you can live here. You should, as a good, ambassador to the club and to the city, you should stay here forever. Naturally, you captain Napoli to a Scudetto. Well, all right. He's going to be playing in black and white next year. What are you going to do? Ugats, sorry. It's not even because I'm a Juve fan. It's just, people got to understand. It's, you cheer for the guys that play for your club. But if they leave, they leave. That's it. It's done. It's a business decision. The guy that runs Napoli's crazy. You got to realize that. So, I think Di Lorenzo knows he's never going to get more money out of that guy as he gets older. Because Di Lorenzo's, because De Laurentiis is, he's business first. He doesn't give contracts to old players. A lot of these guys are just petty too. Like Claudio Lotito had an episode the other day with that Japanese guy. What's his name? Dakai. I forget his fucking name. God, let me look this up here so I don't look like a fucking moron. It is... God, it starts with a K. Christ. Fuck, man. Here we go. Yeah, Daishi Kamada. Daishi Kamada asked for an extra 2.5 million euro as a signing fee to extend his contract. Claudio Lotito said, "We will be sending him away. He's a mercenary. You ain't blackmailing us." That's beautiful right there. Is it crazy? Yes, it is. It's insane. It's literally in negotiations. Okay, please give me an extra 2.5 million as a signing bonus. That's a negotiation proposal. That's a proposal in negotiations. They can just say no. You say no. You're trying to blackmail us. All right. Are they? This guy saying if I don't get my bonus, then I won't sign. Is that really blackmailing? It's negotiation. So, off he goes. So, I love it. A guy like that, he's dead to the club. Gone. Over. Now, Genoa had that Icelandic striker. What's his name? Goodman. I don't even remember his name. I think he got done for sexual assault or something. He might have to do jail time. It's not clear. Genoa, to be clear, they will hold on to him as long as they're legally allowed to. That is, I can take that to the bank. They will not end his contract now. Okay? The PR move in the NFL, he's released yesterday. Not in Italy. Not Genoa. No fucking way. We're a week away from the Euro, guys. I don't know how to feel. 5 number 10s went to visit them the other day at Coverciano, the national team. We got visited by 5 former number 10s, by Baggio, Del Piero, fucking Totti, Antonioni, someone else. I forget who. Doesn't matter. Saw in training today they were wearing shirts that said "Siamo tutti 10." We're all 10. I'm starting to get concerned that just optically everything they're doing is kind of just going to turn into a meme almost. It feels like it could be a very bad tournament for us. And I've done a lot of shit talking to the Albanians. If they lose to Albania in the first game, I will, you understand, we're going to have to make a Curb Your Enthusiasm type edit to post. I'm just going to have to own it and say, yeah, I'm a bitch, I'm a cuck, I'm sorry, Jesus. In this case, I'm, all right, bow down. I'm going to have no choice. I don't know. Last week I liked the team, and now I'm looking at the team and I don't like it anymore. I'm going through waves. I don't know why. I'm looking at the team and I think it lacks something. And it does. It lacks Acerbi, it lacks Calvini, it lacks fucking Tonali. And it lacks, Verratti. And it arguably lacks Balotelli as well. But that's, that's a crazy thing to say. But also kind of not. But I get it. Yeah. That's one way to make sure you're never taken seriously again, is to say, bro, Balotelli should come back. But he should always be on standby, just for being who he is. Just on the field, just technically, So I don't know. So next week's the big the big preamble before the tournament gets going. So hopefully this was enjoyable to you guys. If you like the show, leave a like. Feel free to comment. I don't know. I feel like you guys are more engaged now that we're talking about Euro shit. So I don't know. Just leave a comment of any kind. You could even just be like, Sam, I'm sure you have a big dick, or Sam, you might have a small dick. I don't care. Just comment something. It doesn't have to be stuff you agree about. If you agree with everything I said, just say preach. I literally don't care. You don't have to like give me, you don't have to play devil's advocate to anything. Just commenting anything. It all helps. Like the video, subscribe. If you're new, I'm gonna ask one thing from you guys here. If you're tuning into this on any platform, just share this with a WAP. Normally, I would want anyone other than WAPs to listen to the pod to get a little diversity here, but fuck it. We're it's good for the brand. The next month, we're going WAP all in. I will be the king of the WAPs for the next month if you will humbly. I would humbly accept that title if you grant it to me. So let me be your king, please, or let me be the voice of reason. Let me be the catharsis for you guys, as you guys are all reading the news and getting riled up and consuming tons of Euro content and so on. Let me be in that rotation. Let's do it. I'm here for you. We will put out a lot of good stuff, and I would really appreciate if you could just send this to a friend. Any friend who you think would also like the pod. If you like this, you like the energy of it, I'm sure your boys would also. Yeah. No, it's great, I think we're relatively articulate most of the time. We try to be funny, much as we can. We feel the same things you feel, and we're a little racist sometimes. So, we're checking all the boxes for the boys, So, please share the pod if you like it. What else, man? Follow me if you want. I don't know. And I'm Sam Adamo. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time, folks. In the haunting tones of Matteo Renzi, former Prime Minister of Italy, I leave you on this, and maybe we'll do this for the next month. Viva l'Italia e in bocca al lupo a tutti noi. Ciao.